Okay, we're at the final piece of the puzzle now. We've got our data frame. We know how we can put data into the data frame. We'll go into that in the next couple of videos, but we've got the data frame. It's got some data in it. And what we want to do now is convert that to a CSV and then save that to a location on the hard drive. And so that raises the next question of, well, whereabouts on the hard drive is it going to be saved? If we do not tell it where to save, okay, Python where to save it, it's just going to end up in the same folder as where we called the Python file from. That can get messy, okay? What we want to do is put it somewhere, particularly as we're debugging and creating the program to start off with, we want to put it somewhere nice and safe where if we open up that folder, it's only going to contain the output from our folder and it's not going to contain anything important. In this case here, what I've done is we've got desktop programming, Python, visual water task. This is the sorts of experiments that I was running when I was making these experiments. Okay, and in here I've got a folder called practice data. Okay, so this is where I want the output files to end up. So what I've done is I've created an output path. Okay, users, lab notebook, desktop, programming, Python, VWT, practice data. You'll notice on Windows we have to put the escape, so we have to put two forward slashes here. Okay, if you're running Mac, it's different. You don't need to do that. And what we are going to do is we've got the data frame, but we don't have a save file name. We have to create a file name now. What I do typically is I'll create a save file, save name, and I'll make it the date, so current date. Remember, that's going to be the date backwards. So then when we sort it, it's going to be in date order. And I'm also going to include the subject ID. Okay, so this is going to be the save file name. And then we want it to be saved as a .csv file. Okay. We want to now add this save name to the output path. So the save file is going to be the output path plus, we're just going to concatenate these strings, the save name. And then we'll do a debug here, print. Debug file save to, and then we'll print out the save file. So again, if this works, we're not going to save anything at the moment. We are just setting up, okay, the save file name. So hopefully when we print this out, we should get a very long string showing us the output file. So debug file will be saved to users, lab notebook, desktop programming. Yep, that's correct. And so we should get a file called 190324ag.csv. Now, what if we run two files, or we run that subject twice in the same day? Is there a way around that? The way that I would go around that is I would create I would add current time into the middle. Okay. And so therefore we'll have the date, time, subject ID. Now, this will lead to making very complicated, or for first appearances, quite complicated file names. But then in your lab book or whatever, like what I've got here, then in your hard code lab book, you'll actually write down the file names are the following structure, okay? And if you're writing programs for someone else, you should also ask them, hey, how do you want your files to be saved? Okay, and if they're doing it in a way that you think can be improved, then you just suggest, hey, have you thought about doing it this way? I have found this to be advantageous. So we've got the save file name now, so hey, let's save the file. So let's have a look. What we're going to do is we're going to start to look for error capturing. So we're going to use the try statement. So that says, dear Python, can you try the following? If this does not work, okay, I want you to do the following. And so if we do see an error, we're going to print, okay, debug, okay, error saving file not completed. Okay, so this is a try except statement. It's going to try the first bit. If no errors are generated, it's going to skip over the except, no worries. If there is an error, it will then do what is in the except portion of these statements, control statements. What we want to do is we want to save our file. So output file, remember this is the data frame that we created. So output file dot to underscore CSV. Now this is going to accept two things. The first thing, it needs the file name and the path. Okay, and the second thing that we can send it is, do you want to print the indexes? Remember, that's what these things here are. The 0 and the 1. That gives us the index identity of each row of data. We're gonna turn it off. We don't care about that because our data will be in CSV format, and when we import it into our spreadsheet program or whatever, the indexes should be relatively straightforward. We also don't care about that because have a look here. Our trial number is also going to be our index, and that's the more accurate index that we're going to use because that's the trial that the subject did, not this one that Pandas gave us. So we need the file save name, and so that's up here. So that's going to be save file. Okay, so we're going to take the output file .to.csv. It then needs the name of the file that you want to save. We've made it so it's also got the location. And then it's also going to, we're going to say, hey, can you please turn off the indexing? So let's run this. We're going to go and open up this folder. So this PC, desktop, programming, Python, VWT, practice data. So if this works, we should see a CSV file appear as if by magic. There we go. We've got the program, it's saved here. So it should be 190324154557. Okay, so yeah, it can be quite complicated. All right, so this is just the way that I've done it. Okay, and I will actually extend this a little bit further by giving a little bit more information. So there we go. There's our CSV file. Do you reckon it worked? Let's find out. Let's double click on it. If it's a CSV file, it should be openable in Microsoft Windows. Microsoft Excel, not Windows. Okay, so let's come over here. So here we go. Here is the Excel, Microsoft Excel. Subject, AG, 190304, 1547. Trial number 0, trial number 1. Reward orientation, FOIL orientation, and the responses. And this is precisely what we had written here. See, current date, current time, trial number 01, trial number 01. I don't like that like that, I want that like that. So there we go. We have now just saved our first CSV file. Okay, and we can convert that into XLS later on. Okay, but we don't care for that too much. What's this? No, organizer. No. Okay, there we go. We'll save this. We'll save this program here. Okay, that's fine. No, I don't want that. Cancel. I'll sort it out off screen. Next video, we're going to put a main loop into our program, and we're going to start to create some data arrays or lists of data, and then we're going to save an actual program. Save an actual experimental data set. Okay, that's it. See you in the next one.